Good morning, afternoon, good night to everybody out there in podcast land. Welcome back to the No Girlfriend podcast. My name, as always, is Kris Barnes. Here with me is my good buddy, my pal, my vice president, Spencer. What is up, pal?
I'm sick, Kris. I'm not feeling very well.
Okay, whatever, man. I was sick. I was sick last week. Tough it up. Get some energy in your voice. We're here for the podcast, so just be in the moment, so to speak.
All right, fine.
But what you got? I got sniffles, chicken pox, flu, distemper.
No, I just have the sniffles. I sound nasally. I feel congested. My stomach hurts. My head's pounding, and I have to look at your face. So it's a trifecta of errors.
Well, that and when you very bury underwear, and those cheering you up.
No, Kris, and they're quite disturbing that you showed me.
By the way, also out there, if you don't buy MeUndies for your underwear, go get some MeUndies right now. They're super comfortable. They honestly changed my life.
Free marketing. This is
I'm just being nice, okay? And they made me
you know what gets me in the mood for the podcast? A nice bag of Doritos.
Okay, I'm just saying, maybe MeUndies will hear this. They'll be like, huh, free advertising. Maybe we could pay them to do it for us too. And then they'll be like, yo, Kris, Spencer, do a shit for us for money. We'll give you $5 a second. And there we go. I'm making $5 a second.
Oh, God.
I think that's the actual rate, too. $5 per second.
Really?
I'm bullshitting.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of bullshit, let's go into our new experience of the week. Week. So, last time you started us off.
I went first, yes.
So this time I will go
Kris.
first.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
So, I've been pretty busy this week with work and all, but I do have one new experience. Hold on to your hats, people, for this new experience of the week, and it is I learned what fog is and how fog is made this week.
Fog, in the sky,
like fog, yeah,
in the air.
Yeah, like fog in the air.
Okay, well, I guess it's weird because things like that you just kind of take for granted that they're there.
Right. Honestly, it was really foggy last weekend, and I was like, "What is this stuff? Is fog
like a low-hanging cloud?"
Is it like mist? Is it like rain that got too hot? Apparently, fog is formed when there is either a 2.5 to 4 degrees Celsius difference between the temperature and the dew point.
Oh, wow. So it's turning into the chemistry podcast, Kris.
Actually, it's a meteorology podcast.
Meteorology. Oh,
moron.
Sorry, Kris. I'm not too well versed in the making of fog.
You remember, you used to watch breakfast television when you were growing up? See the meteorologist Harold Hussein on TV? Oh. No. I said that's stuck in my head for some reason.
Okay, so that's your experience. How did you learn about how fog was made, Kris?
Something I like to call Wikipedia.
Are you okay?
I went to the formation section.
Is this actually what you're bringing to the podcast this week? Hey, you looked on Wikipedia how fog was made. That's your new experience. Dude, we didn't even experience fog.
I had fog on the weekend.
Hey, maybe that's your fucking glasses, Kris.
No, actually. No, man. I was driving. I was really foggy. I could barely see the stop signs or anything. I ran 3 red lights, but
and you critique my driving.
Yeah, but your driving's atrocious, though. You almost get accidents all the time.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
But anyway, so that's your experience. So that's it. That caps the week off for you. You looked up fog.
Yes.
Did you eat any burgers this week?
No, I didn't actually. I am 13 days clean from burgers.
So how many more days to go until you decide fuck it?
18?
18 more days. Okay,
yeah,
then we'll go to the works.
Days. Today?
No, in 18 days.
No, I'm going to that burger place, Holy Chuck, downtown. Oh. I'm getting their fancy duck burger. It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah, you did mention that.
Yeah,
no thanks. All right, so, okay. My experience is a little more interesting.
Did you bang triplets?
No, Kris. I actually went to Indigo, and I purchased a book.
Okay. One I could read.
It's a book that's very famous. It's actually The Diary of Anne Frank.
Oh, really?
I've never actually read it. And, we always hear about it, and there are all these things about it, and it's such a part of, our history.
They have a museum, and I forget where the museum is. It's in fucking that movie about the kids who had cancer.
Okay, well, anyways, I started reading it, and it's very interesting. It's very, it's strange, because these are actual diary entries, right? And it's but it's structured in a way, it feels like a cohesive narrative. I think that's why it was such an incredible discovery, right? Is that it's just the story it tells. And it's really it's really kind of shocking. Like when you hear about what society was like. I mean, we kind of just think about it in our heads, back of our heads, like, yeah, like it was bad for the Jews. We just kind of like move on. It's like we don't really comprehend what that means. And
like the magnitude of the whole like a whole affair for like these people hiding in this attic for how long are they in the attic for?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't even, honestly, I've only gotten like a quarter of the way through, so I haven't. I'm still going. But like, it starts like in 1942, in June of 1942, I believe. That's when it starts. But it's just like how Anne Frank is reciting it. Like it's not a big, almost like it's not a big deal. Like this is what we had to do. You know, we had to go and we had to find a hiding spot where we had to keep quiet. And it's like she doesn't write it with any sort of like, can you believe what's happening? It's kind of, I guess, it was just like a natural progression of the time, and it's really alarming and it's shocking and it's scary as well.
Like, how is it written? Does it seem very like matter of fact? Is there any hyperbole you're sensing? Like,
oh no, I don't sense really any hyperbole. It's really just her like saying like kind of her ramblings and like this is what we did today, and some of it is totally inconsequential, right? But that's kind of the charm. And meanwhile, you're kind of understanding more and more about this character, and I know doesn't end very well. All I know is that.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. But it's definitely something that's interesting to look at, and it is a piece of history. I know a lot of people like they read it. It's like assigned readings in school.
Yeah.
That was never assigned to me, so I never actually read it. But I'm glad that I picked it up, and I'm glad that I'm immersing myself in it because it's stuff like that that's really timeless literature, in my opinion. And have you read it?
No, but I think I really do want to read it one day. I also think it's really cool that like this is actually a diary of a young girl living through this horrible experience that we found. We made into a movie. We made it into several like books, different kinds of bindings. Like, can you imagine something like you were written today being found like maybe 30 years in the future, being made into a movie, like your diary or your Tumblr or whatever.
3,000 years they discover this podcast. But no, I know what you're saying. It's like
it's humanity's last record. The No Girlfriend podcast.
But I know what you're saying. It would be cool. But I mean, she wasn't alive to like realize what it.
Yeah, of course,
right?
Yeah.
So, but it is quite remarkable, and like when you're reading, she has an interesting vocabulary as well, right? For a young like teenage girl to like kind of have this vocabulary, it's interesting, and but also just emblematic of the time, right? Like people spoke differently, and like just some of the cultural things you pick up as well. It really is just a fascinating read. But I mean, that's my experience anyway.
You ever read Eli Wiesel's Night?
No, I never have.
It's a similar book about like a boy had to go on those like trains to the various concentration camps with his parents. Talks about how the whole like separation of like the weak and the old, and they got sent straight to like the gas chambers when the people who are like still more able-bodied made to work very hard, and like how he lost his family and stuff, and like eventually see like how he was saved. Like it's a crazy story, and the guy's still alive today. So like,
oh wow,
I can't imagine like living through those kind of things. Like, Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so I mean that's my experience for the weekend. Is I do recommend it for anyone who hasn't read it. It is powerful. It's just something. Yeah, it's like required reading. Like something you really should check out before you die. Like it's definitely something that's worth your time, in my opinion, anyways.
How would you rank it? Like top 5 books you ever read? Like,
oh, well, I haven't gotten far. I need to finish it first before I do that. But I mean, I see the appeal. Like I see instantly, you can kind of see. Like you don't even. I didn't even realize that. Like it's hard to comprehend what you're reading, right? Like because it is written like there's some cohesive narrative to it, and I mean there is a cohesive narrative.
Yeah.
But you have to keep telling yourself like this is like actually like what somebody wrote in their diary of the time. Like it's kind of a mental leap you have to make.
Yeah.
It's
not just a story.
Yeah. Exactly. But anyway, I know that's kind of a heavy subject.
Yeah, man, we've become pretty dark the podcast recently. Like last week, talking about me and my issues. We're talking about the Holocaust. Like, what's next week, bro?
I don't know. We'll just have to wait and find out, guys.
Episode 10's coming out soon. In like a week, I guess.
Anyways, we did want to talk about a couple things. You wanted to talk. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. What you're doing for the Super Bowl? If you have anything planned.
Honestly, no. I'm gonna try and see if I can find someone who's like having a thing at their place, and we'll go over.
Well, I'm not inviting you, Kris.
BuzzFeed recipes. Oh, fuck you. Make some really cheesy dish and like bring it over and have everyone love me. I guess could be a fun time.
What if they're serving burgers?
When I won't have any burgers, I'll only have hot dogs or whatever else they have.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
man.
man with self-control.
Actually, today I was honestly like very angry before I got here, and I really want a burger because like usually when I'm like angry or upset, I want comfort food. But I was like, I can't do it. I can't have a burger, so I got poutine instead.
Gosh.
And some chips and gummy bears.
Jeez, Chris.
I was really angry.
I was about to say, this is really good, and then you're going on about
no,
this.
well, earlier today I had a salad for lunch, and so
salad.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Fancy.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Ah.
Well, for me, for the Super Bowl, my team, the
Falcons.
Asked. Well, I'm telling you anyways.
Okay, yeah, Falcons. We've been Falcons fan for about 2 weeks now. Relax.
Okay, I
that
want you
jacket
to correct
you bought that jacket a couple of weeks ago at Spencer's Gifts. I saw
know
you
what?
buy it. I was there. You're a fucking sham, all right?
Right, well, you can actually go and look at my Instagram and see months ago when the season started that I was rooting for the Falcons.
Yeah, I saw your post
So your
on
lie
Facebook.
is totally
You're a
debunked.
huge douche. Immediately after the Packers won, I was been a fan forever, people.
Yeah,
do
because
not
that's what's gonna
deny.
happen.
You were
There's
like
gonna be
a
all those
huge
bandwagon
page-long
fans.
post
I'm gonna
saying,
go.
I've been a Falcons fan since day
in
one.
my entire life,
no one cares,
Chris,
Spencer.
Chris, in my entire life, I've seen 2 Falcons fans. In my entire life, in person.
They suck.
And then I seen one the day after. I was at work, and someone walked by with a Falcons hat on. And I was like, bullshit. Like, you're not a Falcons fan.
You say to them in their face, you're saying
No,
your hat.
I said, oh, I like your hat.
She's so snooty. Oh, I like your hat there, bod.
No, I was serious. But, no, I'm a Falcons fan. I've been a Falcons fan for
Yeah,
7
okay.
years.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know you're a Falcons
Good,
fan. You don't
good.
have to be such a dick
All
about
right,
it.
we're going to the Super
We
Bowl,
get it.
Mr. Saints.
You're getting lucky this year. You got like all your
Getting
fucking
lucky.
golden boys lined up.
As all the sports commentators, I realize this, all the sports commentators, they just share the same buzzwords. No matter what channel they're on. They'll be like, they just have all these weapons. And every single person talks about the Falcons says that. Or they have 2 running backs, which are Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman. And they're just like, they have the 2-headed monster, Freeman and Coleman. That's what all the announcers say. And it's just like, come
I
up with
thought it was
some
3-headed
originality.
monster and include Julio Jones in that.
No,
Is it
Julio
2-headed
Jones is
monster?
a receiver.
Yeah, but 3-headed monster still.
No, because they have 3 wide receivers. You have Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, and then you have I guess it was the main. Oh, and then I'm forgetting the third. Kill me. But then there's Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman, who's the running game, and it's like they just say those they just call them the 2-headed monster in every single broadcast of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, there needs to be some more originality here, guys.
That's what they call them. I mean, they fucking called.
It's not clever if you can repeat it over and over and over again.
Yeah, so not just a nickname. It's not supposed to be clever anymore. Not just the name.
All right, maybe I'm just
like
being nitpicky.
with Junkyard Dog, you know. They just call him that. It's not like changing him everywhere he goes.
That's a terrible comparison, but all right.
Well, you get a good nickname, okay? Well, leave me alone. I Junkyard Dog. What was even his real name, Junkyard Dog?
I don't know. How the fuck? I don't even know Chris, I still don't know what you're saying.
He's on the Raptors. The Junkyard Dog.
Is this a thing?
What are you talking about, man? Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Okay, let's just consult our good friend Google.
My Raptors knowledge is pretty bad.
Yeah, because you're a bad Toronto sports fan.
I am. Sorry I don't like the Leafs. Do you like the Leafs?
I don't mind the Leafs. No, I do like the Leafs.
Oh, God.
I haven't really been following basketball this year. Fuck off. It's hockey this year. Wow.
I love the Leafs. I love the Leafs. They really know how to dunk the ball.
So I was looking up Junkyard Dog.
Look at this. You don't even, this is totally like not what you thought it was.
No, shut up. I'm getting there. But yeah, I haven't really been following hockey very much this year. Like, I've been following football much more, watching basketball a little bit more. Like, hockey's kind of fallen by the wayside.
I don't watch hockey, Chris. Hockey's a terrible sport, my humble opinion. Even though we're Canadian and we're supposed to pat ourselves on the back and say, oh, isn't hockey just the greatest sport ever? It brings us together. What great Canadians we are when we sit down and watch a game.
Jerome Williams was his name. Junkyard Dog.
Okay.
But
no, I hate hockey. It's boring. I watch the playoffs sometimes, but that's about it. It's
I think it's pretty fun. Like, I've seen like.
Of course you think it's fun, Chris. You know why you think it's fun? Because I said I think it's boring.
Okay,
so
no,
you have to
I'm
go
not,
I'm
not a contrarian.
Yes,
You're
you
a
are.
contrarian.
I'm not a contrarian.
Yeah, you are.
Everyone's everyone's a contrarian except me. That's
all the time. No, you hate the popular opinion, man.
Popular opinion is always wrong.
Think. Okay, exactly. That's what a contrarian would say.
Unless they vote my way.
Oh my God! Speaking of voting, let's talk about the Oscars.
Oh yes, the Oscars. Great segue there, Mr. Barnes. I have some thoughts.
Yeah, how does fucking That Squad movie got nominated. Suicide Squad?
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
For what?
I don't know. I saw the nomination.
It did not get maybe
Yeah,
for
it
some
did.
trivial thing.
Like what?
Best makeup or some shit.
No, like best leading actress.
Oh, I hope not.
Margot Williams.
Shh. That's not her name.
What is it?
Margot something else, but it's not Williams.
Robbie.
Whatever. I don't think it got... Oh, well, the main topic about the Oscars I want to talk about is like, you know how last year they had that Oscars so white hashtag? You're right.
Best makeup.
Best makeup. I was right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, it's not like a fucking piddly award, right? That's a good award. Best makeup. It's hard to get.
What's the competition? Like Warcraft? So, terrible other film.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. Anyway, Kris, enough with your fucking tablet. All right, let's talk about what I want to talk about regarding the Oscars.
All right.
Because I want to hear your opinion.
Okay.
What about last year when they said hashtag Oscars so white? What were your thoughts on that?
I don't really care about like that kind of stuff, honestly. Like
what?
I do want more representation from like minority groups.
A black man doesn't care?
Oh my god!
Oh, Kris, I'm so disappointed. That's the narrative that I have to push.
I do want more representation from like blacks, Asians, other ethnicities in the Oscars and in Oscar films. But like honestly, I'm not a film guy. This is like a very small issue in the grand scheme for me. I said in the podcast before, I only like cartoons and action movies and comedies. So I'm not a very high society film type.
Well, like I think that something that's interesting is now they've gone and they've nominated a bunch of what would be considered quote black films to be like up for Best Picture.
Like Moonlight?
Well, that's the thing. Like Moonlight's my movie of the year, but now I feel really conflicted because it's like if Moonlight wins, then it's like, did it win because they thought it was the best movie?
Affirmative action win, right?
Yeah. Did it win because they're like, oh man, like, trying to get the pressure off, we have to go with this one. And I hope, if it does win, I hope it really is because it is the best movie of the year, next to La La Land. But it's like...
Is that movie that good? Everyone's like hyping. Only people who are hyping it.
That's the thing as well, right? There's this huge like tear in the community where it's like, if you're support Moonlight, you could not by any means support La La Land because that supports cultural appropriation and all those horrible sins that white people have committed.
I've seen that, yeah.
And the people who like La La Land are like, this is the best movie of the year, hands down. It's everything cinema needs.
I hate blacks.
No, but it's like, it's just it's this stupid riff, right? Like they are up there for the best movies. When I saw La La Land originally, I was a little let down because I loved the previous film that the guy did, Whiplash. I loved it so much. I was a little let down, but like, I've come to learn that like La La Land is really just spectacular cinema. But they're very different films. They're very, very different films. When it comes to just like art, the art of filmmaking, I can kind of see La La Land winning. But when it comes to just like the sheer just power of Moonlight, it's really just like overpowering. And I walked away feeling ways about Moonlight that I didn't feel.
Feeling ways.
I didn't feel with La La Land. And like, again, I wanted Moonlight to win, but now that this whole thing's reared its ugly head again, where it's all about like, it's not actually about the best movie, it's about what the choice means about the racial time we're in our society. It's like I've heard people be like, in a time where Donald Trump is president, Moonlight needs to win. And it's like, this is not how we judge films. It shouldn't be how we judge films. And I mean, it's such a powerful film. It sucks that it's being boiled down to like the partisanship of the day.
And I feel like that if you were an actor or a director, any part of the staff of Moonlight, you should feel like your work's being diminished because if you're only going to win based on being a black film, like that diminishes all the work you put in, all the hours you spend rehearsing, like the effects, the editing, like all the things that come into making this film a great masterpiece. Is this being boiled down to being, oh, it's black, so it must win because it's black. And it's like I would just feel like if I was the director, I'd be like, man, I don't want to win this because I'm a black director, a black actor, making a movie about black people. I want to win because this movie is great. A lot of heart, soul, blood, sweat, tears into this production. I feel like on its own merit as a production, it's better than La La Land, Suicide Squad, and Deadpool. The other ones for best film of the year.
I don't think either of those latter two are in there for best films of the year.
Not even Deadpool? That was a great movie.
But I hear your point, Kris, and I agree, obviously. I think like the people that complain about it being racist, they employ the same logic of like a conspiracy theorist, where it's like, for example, when they're like, Oscars are racist, I'll be like, all right, well, 12 Years a Slave won. like a couple years ago, and I was like, well, yeah, that's because the Oscars just like to see a black man in chains. I was like, I swear to God, I'm not lying.
Really?
This is literally the argument. Yeah, I swear to God. And then it's like, oh well, you complain black actors are being snubbed, like Denzel Washington, like he won for Training Day. That's like, well, yeah, that's because it's a black man. He's a crooked cop. He's a criminal. That's why they liked it. And like it's like, you know, when people like try to prove conspiracies, like you throw evidence at them, it's like, oh, that's just what they want you to think, or that evidence is there because it's just a ploy to like trick you into believing it.
Yeah, it's their confirmation bias, right? They want to see things in the way that will like confirm their preconceived notions.
Yeah, exactly. So like these are the sorts of complaints that come forward. It's like it's all like it just reeks of like a conspiracy theory. Mm-hmm. And you know, like there are movies that get snubbed, but like The Dark Knight got snubbed.
Like Deadpool.
That's my favorite. Like Deadpool, yes. But The Dark Knight's my favorite movie ever, and it was, you know, critics loved it, right? It was just a huge box office success, and it wasn't even nominated for Best Picture, right? And the reason behind it, right? There is like an idea of like, you know, these are the sorts of films we don't want to talk about. Superhero movies, like we're too good for that. Like there's a bias in that way. I don't think that there's a racial bias when it comes to this stuff, or you know, at the very least, it's very minimal. At like maybe a couple people in the guild would kind of have these biases, maybe if anything, but I don't think it would affect the overall like scheme of what.
If I may interject, I don't think it's like a very like outwardly like racial thing, but I feel like when people like think of like classical film, they kind of like they think in a certain ways that Hollywood has like been like kind of the frame Hollywood has built up to this point of just white actors creating these films and like making all these masterpieces. We only see these like other ethnic groups making masterpieces, so you kind of like thinking in a certain way. You compare to like Casablanca, Titanic, other like great movies, and they're all like pretty much mainly white people. So it's kind of like what you're framing it against.
I actually totally 100% agree.
Frames your opinions, but like but also back to your point of like superhero movies aren't really cinema. I had a teacher in grade 12 for writer's craft, and she said like she doesn't believe like fantasy novels could be considered literature. I thought it really offensive because a lot of like great like Lord of the Rings, like
Lord of the Rings is fantastic.
Yeah, all kinds of like even like Harry Potter, even though it's written kind of juvenilely, it's still considered like literature.
I think there's something profound about Harry Potter, but like
I think it's just made. I think it's a children's book, but
changed
pretty much
bring it back
the face of the world.
I think you made a very accurate point where you said when we think about like what do you think about classic films? Mm-hmm. It's always been like we're white people,
exactly,
right? And so I there's definitely I can totally see that sort of unconscious bias. It's a very fair point to make. Mm-hmm. I 100% see that, but I do think that. That's a very valid point, but I do think it's kind of taken as if like that's just people only see it through like a racial lens, and like that is just all people see is just white films is the only possible way of filming. I think it's like your just like reasoning behind it makes sense, but I think people take that and kind of extrapolate to mean like that is a sort of bias.
Yeah, it's outwardly racist. Like they're picking these white films because they are white, not because of how they've been classically trained to view film as this.
Like what I'm saying is like your point of view maybe makes up like 10% of how someone views a film. Mm-hmm. Like they see partially that through that lens. Mm-hmm. But people try to make it seem like your view is like 100% how people view all movies. Yeah. And I think that's where it's wrong. But I think you made a good point. Do you have a movie that you're rooting for that's not Suicide Squad or Deadpool?
Wow, I'm so fucking condescending, you ass. But no, I'm not a big film guy. I don't like award shows like this unless they're like the MTV Music Awards. Those are fun to watch.
We'll see what happens. Like, look, but it's like there's a no-win situation, right? If Moonlight wins, it's like, oh, of course they gave it to Moonlight because of last year. Yeah. And if La La Land wins, it's like, oh, of course they're still racist. You know, it's just there's going to be a really terrible narrative built regardless of what the outcome is. It's so frustrating to deal with. Well, I don't know. That wraps up the Oscar talk. This is another talk you want to get into.
Oh, that's a good segue, buddy. Let's talk about Bell. Let's talk.
Oh, okay. I have some opinions.
Yeah, I know you have some opinions. I actually, Spencer, you're my buddy. You're my pal. And you have a lot of opinions.
That's because I'm always right.
No. Opinions that I disagree with. Your stance on a lot of things, political,
moral,
ethical, sexual, all kinds of things. But as your friend, I listen to your opinions and I respect them, and you're allowed to have these opinions. But your opinions on Bell Let's Talk actually make me mad, and I don't like them.
Oh, really?
But yeah, you can go on about what you believe on Bell Let's Talk. Just give a little background too. Like, let's say if you're not a Canadian, I'm being a little cocky here. If your fan is not, let's assume I'm not a Canadian here, but maybe like the one person who's not a Canadian who's listening to the podcast. Bell Let's Talk Day is a day done by Bell Mobility, who is a big like provider of cable, phones, and whatnot in Canada. And they donate 5 cents per any tweet, text, watching of this video on Facebook, Snapchat using their Bell Let's Talk filter, Instagram with the Bell Let's Talk hashtag, to mental health, I guess, research or treatments in Canada. So yeah, 5 cents bringing like thing of the hashtag Bell Let's Talk interaction on social media. And that happens once a year. I think it's on the same day, but around this time of year every year. It's going on since 2011. So, yeah, but we have differing views on the day and what it means for people in Canada, in the world in general, people who have mental health issues. So, Spencer, what do you want to go on with your views on the subject?
My lunacy.
Yes.
My wacky point of view. What's like? I remember when it first started, I was all...
No, you don't. 2011? No, you don't.
I was running... Oh, was it 2011 when it started?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I remember one year I tweeted about it. I think it was 2013, maybe 12, whatever it was. But I was running for the board of directors
That
at
was
university.
14.
Really?
Yeah.
Whatever. Well, I tweeted about it. I was like, oh, look at me doing such a good deed and patting myself
That
on the
was
back.
me tweeting from your account.
Shut up. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Was it? Oh, well,
as a campaign manager.
Well, let's see. I got all the virtue signaling out of that, even though I didn't even tweet it. But regardless... Yeah, so like this all sounds well and dandy, right? Like they donate 5 cents to helping people, deal with mental health issues, increases awareness, and all that sort of stuff. All you have to do is write hashtag Bell Let's Talk. Well, me being the very cynical person I am,
very cynical,
and just the fact that I tend to see things clearer than most of you worthless troglodytes.
Shut up.
I realize that this is all just like obscenely like obvious marketing for Bell, first of all, right? Like this idea, like this sort of ad campaign where like everyone would participate in it, this would be like billions of dollars of ad campaign. And it's like for them, it'll probably only cost them a few million. So it's a huge bonus for Bell. They're going to make such a profit off of this. And like really, they're like essentially profiting off of an issue in our society. But it's more to it than just that. People like put this stuff out there for once during the year, and they're all like, this is my good deed, and then they don't care about mental health for the rest of the year, for most people. And then it's even worse, because during the day, it's like everyone has to pretend they're more virtuous than their other friends who are sharing it. So someone's like, hashtag Bell Let's Talk is important, because we're all struggling and we need to do this together. And then someone's like, oh, well, here's a picture of my grandmother, hashtag Bell Let's Talk. And she suffers from mental health. So, it has a personal stake with me. And then someone else comes along and says, I want to put Bell Let's Talk, but let's be honest. A lot of you people aren't serious about it and don't care about it enough throughout the year. It's just everyone has to, just hype it up more and more and, look how virtuous I'm being. And it's just like some weird competition, and it's just annoying and gross. And I think it totally detracts from the message of it. And I think if you actually care, it's 5 cents, right? And you're not donating the money. All you do is put hashtag Bell Let's Talk in a tweet. It takes 5 seconds. They're donating 5 cents. If you donate $1 yourself, that is more than what Bell's doing by 20 times, right? Because not only 5 is obviously divisible. But also, it's like you're donating the money yourself, and there's a little more virtue to that than having some other company do it. And then they're like, oh, what about the awareness, increasing awareness? You have 364 other days in the year to increase awareness. You can call your friend who may be struggling, right? You can talk to your family about it. You can post about it at another day. But it just becomes this trendy, viral little sensation that everyone has to partake in, and so we can all feel good about ourselves. And it's really sickening, in my opinion. But that's my rant. Anyways, Kris, you are angry about that, so go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to tackle what you said in phases. Okay, there are parts where I can, I see a viewpoint, and parts where I just flat out disagree with you. Okay, let's talk about the first part. Kind of like the commercialization of mental health for Bell's, general benefit. Okay, yeah, I will agree, I will acquiesce Yes. By Bell doing this whole like Bell Let's Talk thing they've been doing for the past, I guess, 7 years now. Yes, they're gonna increase people using their Bell services. People probably will switch to Bell because they perceive Bell to be a big corporation that actually cares about people in the communities, and they're doing all these like great things for people with mental health issues and like increasing awareness, helping with treatments. Yes, people like will see Bell in more favorable light, and they will gravitate more towards Bell, and it will help Bell make more revenues in the end. But I don't like. But yeah, that's just like part of these things. Like the NFL does things about like fucking breast cancer, and like everyone supports various causes through their corporation. Like that's gonna, yes, the giving back, but also it will help the business too. That's unavoidable. Whatever. Like it's a small part of the greater good. What I don't agree with is what you think people saying about like. Excuse me, I drink a lot of water.
Come on, Kris.
People saying about like, oh, my grandmother has mental health issues, or like, oh, you guys don't care, I care. Like, I don't think people are doing it. Okay, I'm sure there are some people who are doing it on some level to seem like that they actually give a fuck, and that their views on mental health are actually like the views, and that they're a really caring, compassionate person. In reality, they don't give a fuck at all. But I believe, and I really want to believe, that the majority of people who post these like heartfelt statuses on Facebook and Twitter, on Instagram, actually care about this cause deeply. And like what I have read yesterday, these things actually really touched me. Like I feel like this year more than most other years, I have seen a lot more personal stories, more experiences, more people actually like kind of pouring their heart and soul to like the internet ether to show that like yes, I have these problems, but I want you to know that like I'm open about my problems. I want to share them with you, and if you have issues too, do not be afraid. You're not alone. We can all have a great conversation together. And like I feel like a big thing too has been happening the past couple of years. People have been saying like, isn't Bella's Talk Day? It's saying they're doing Bella's Talk like year, decade, generations of Bella's Talk. But like that is the thing. People are trying to make it less about the day itself and like more about the lifestyle. Someone on my feed shared this recently. I think maybe a buddy of ours whose name rhymes with Hank. But I think they posted that like it's not Bella's Talk Day isn't just like a once in a year thing. It's more of a reminder that like this is how we should be sharing, communicating.
He posted that today, totally because he read my status, and then that was the inspiration for it. Because he's like, "Oh, I can't let Spencer be right, so I have to write about it the next day."
Okay, relax on Hank. All right, okay. But yeah, they're saying that like this day is a reminder of what we should be doing through the next 364 days. We should be open to our neighbors, accepting of our friends, our family, our people we don't even know very well. Everyone has their own silent struggles that they're dealing with every day of their lives. We don't even know about that. We should be able to like listen and accept these people. And like I forget where I was going with this, but I think people aren't just doing it for the lip service. People actually do care.
No, I'm not
about
saying
the
that
cause.
either, Kris. Like
no, but what you're saying? People are saying these things, but they don't actually like.
No, that's a part of no. That's a part of it. I
Yeah.
do think that it's a way for people to feel good about themselves for one day of the year. And I obviously agree with people who say we have to do this, we have to care about it more. But that's kind of my point, right? It's like people say it and they don't do it. Like even myself personally, right? I know at least one other person. I know one person who almost every Facebook post they make is about them wanting to kill themselves. And I kind of know them relatively well. And like, do I fucking message them? I've invited them out once, like to see a movie and stuff, which I guess is good. But like,
good for you, buddy.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. It's like I don't do as much as I could, right? And it's like, and when people think this is enough, right? And like people, and they talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And it's just kind of a way for people to make themselves feel like they're accomplishing something when they could be doing more. Why don't you donate $1 yourself, which is way more, like do the status next week and donate $1. That is already more than what you could be doing.
Argue,
and you're increasing your awareness
as a counter, what if you don't know exactly who to give the money to? There are a lot of like shady organizations out there who want to just like take your money and not actually give it to people in need. So you have people like,
okay, we'll do your research, but that's not an excuse as to why you can't post about it, or why we have to have, and like even if we had a day, like we did have a day where we just raised money for it
yesterday,
right? Yeah, yesterday. Except we don't really raise money. Bell just kind of forks over the money. It's like paying them for our advertising, right? It's more of just like kind of a transaction. If Bell actually cared, right, they would say what their average, how much they donate every year. And then they would just donate that. What?
They do say how much they donate.
No, that's the point. They would do that, donate it, without having to do all of this, if they actually cared.
I think the point is to get people engaged.
Out of it.
I don't think it's just the marketing revenue, though. I feel like they want people like to be using Bell services, but it's to get people engaged and talking. They could easily just be like, "Hey, I'm going to give like $5 million to mental health institutions every single year.
Yeah.
We'll do that every year. We'll tell you every year. That's it." But this is getting the conversation going. A lot of people like don't understand the issue with this kind of stuff. Makes people more like opens people's eyes. Like I'll admit, like years ago, back when I was a high school student, even like my first year university, I didn't really get like these kind of issues. Like I thought depression was kind of something you had for like a day, you got over it, and like I thought I was depressed occasionally, but I was just kind of sad. But like seeing like through meeting these people and these kind of like days, you kind of see people struggle with on a daily basis, and like it's not just like something they can just like they just get over. Like people actually have issues that they work through every day of their life. People need medication for it, and like I wouldn't know about it unless they had days like to like Bell's talk there, meeting new people. So I feel like it's a great tool for like also spreading awareness, not just like raising the money. It serves both purposes.
Chris, okay, I think you're missing my point here, though.
No, I'm seeing your point.
I'm not saying like I'm not saying this is all bad.
I know you're not saying it's all bad,
that come
but
from this, right? There are people that talk about it, right? So talk about it is good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, I wish that people, instead of having one day where they would talk about it, like the day where they should talk about it, it sucks that it's kind of being done like on behalf of a corporation. Like you know when there was like the ice bucket challenge, right? And everyone kind of screwed that up because what the challenge was supposed to be was that you were actually supposed to be like putting up money yourself, right? That's kind of that's what I like is when people actually put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to this is like it's just people get to feel good and someone else forks over the money, and it's a pretty small amount of money in comparison to what we're doing, and overall it's not.
We still raise
really
millions of dollars.
Yeah, dude. This ad campaign encompasses millions of people. That sort of ad campaign would be worth billions. Just to have such a viral sensation like this, if you could pay for it, it would be billions of dollars. But like, so Bell profits so much off of this, and I think they're just latching on to a cause that they don't even like. They don't. If there wasn't a profit in it, they wouldn't be pursuing it. And it just. So I don't want them thinking they're all great for doing this when at the end of the day they're profiting. And we shouldn't think we're doing great by just sharing a status once a year, not donating any money, not actually tackling the problems that we see in our day-to-day lives.
Okay, I agree with you. I feel people shouldn't feel like self-satisfied because you shared a tweet 20 times on one day. That's not your like. It's not. I'm done for the year. I'm good. See you next year.
Yeah, but people say, and no one openly says that.
Yeah.
That they're going to do that. But that's what people act.
Yeah,
and this gives them a nice cover to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what bothers me. That people can use this as their way of feeling good about themselves.
Yeah,
when you're doing virtually nothing. In fact, you're just helping a company establish a brand. Like you really are doing. Almost
but
nothing.
I think that view is very cynical and like it's a really anti-corporation view in general. Okay, yeah, you're helping Bell establish their brand, but they're also doing something with that brand, But like, people should be doing more through the rest of the year. They could be giving their own money too. They could be looking up organizations. They could be doing volunteer work, reaching out to their neighbors. Like, I mean, we're tongue-tied here, but like, there could be a lot of people could and definitely should be doing. But I think that doesn't detract from the merits of Bella's Talk Day. Yes, Bella's making some money off it. Yeah, maybe it could be. We're making 10 cents per tweet, but like it's better than nothing. Okay, like
you know what the real problem is, Chris?
What?
You know why I'm upset? Because I got a snap from someone, a woman who I find very attractive, and I thought it was addressed to me,
always. But
it was just a Bell Let's Talk snap. So here I was all excited that I was getting a snap from her.
You thought it was a nude or something?
Yeah, and then it turned out it was just this. I was like, oh, okay, so that's a big buzzkill right there, and so that's why I'm so jaded. It's a very personal reason why I'm upset.
Yeah, well, you're a fucking shallow asshole.
Well, you know, let's actually, but in all seriousness, I feel like we kind of found some common ground. I don't think you disagree with me. I don't think I disagree with you. I think just our feelings are different about it.
Yeah. I feel like you're a lot more cynical about corporations in general. And, like, I don't know. I was a business student, so, like, I'm not anti-corporation.
I'm a conservative, Chris. I'm not anti-corporation.
Oh, I
don't fall for the voodoo magic that they like to dangle these sorts of virtuous ideas out in front of me. I don't buy it. I don't go for it.
Okay, all right.
I think there is some ground we can actually agree on, which is the counter trend that went around.
The counter trend.
So there's, for people that don't know, as we said, hashtag Bell Let's Talk was trending all day. But then there was a different trend that came about, which was like hashtag Bell Let's Actually Talk, which is like, it almost sounds, it's kind of like an overlap.
You can like hear my eyes rolling right now.
Well, it's like an overlap. It's gross because a lot of people sound like how I'm sounding, which is like, oh, it's just this corporation profiting off of this. But then they come at it from a totally different angle where it's like, what they should be doing is standing up for this and this and this and every issue you've ever heard of under the sun. And it's like, there's animals that are being killed and Bell's not doing it, dealing with it. And it's just really just like out there, like social justice stuff. And I think it's really annoying.
I'm like, okay, well, I haven't seen anything going bad, but I've seen people make posts that like, Bell Let's Talk isn't going as far as to help people who have mental health problems, who are also like being victims of abuse, living on the streets, like all these things. And it's like, okay, yes, Bell Let's Talk is not the perfect solution. It is not going as far as it could possibly go, yes, but I feel like it's a great, like... Okay, well, that's something else. Something else. But anyway, so, yes, okay, yeah. Alright, so there's... Yep, as I was saying, Bell Let's Talk is not the end-all, be-all of things you can do to develop mental health, but it is, like, a great, like, foot in the doorway. Getting people who, like, aren't as well versed on these issues, aware of them. It is raising a lot of money, more than most people generate on their own in a year for fucking mental health issues. More than most schools generate in a year. So, like, I feel like it's still something that's worth meriting, and I feel like saying things that, like, Bell Let's Talk is like shit because it doesn't do everything is like, hey, well, like, nothing is perfect. We know we're living in an imperfect world. We're imperfect beings. Like, yeah, okay, so this is great, but, like, you can support Bell Let's Talk, and you can also support, like, having more support for communities where, like, there's enough resources for mental health, like, people who live on reservations, like, LGBT youth mental health issues, like, blacks, Asians, Middle Eastern youth, etc., who need these issues, but, like, I feel like it can, like, blah. Go on.
I know what you're saying. It's like, but it's just people complaining that like they need to do even more, and it's like there needs to like it's not that like it's like totally. It's kind of the opposite, I guess, of what I'm saying, which is like instead of me saying it's ridiculous that they're doing this, it's like no, they need to do this for everything. Like if there's an injustice in the world, there needs to be these corporations that are donating money to these causes because they're not really doing enough, and it's just like this like backwards universe.
And some are even saying like because the corporation you shouldn't even support it at all. Like because like a corporation's doing these things. Like no way, I'm not supporting these guys. And it's like man, like they're at least doing something, regardless of the fact that they have a big office building in fucking Bay Street. Doesn't matter. They're helping people in need. That's the important thing here. And like. It's just so pretentious and I think it's a little snobby saying about like, oh, okay, well, like, Bell Let's Talk doesn't go far enough. How about Bell Let's Actually Talk? And I just feel like you're saying it like fucking with your horn-rimmed glass and your fucking like micro-brewed coffees. Like, fucking chill.
No, I actually couldn't agree more, Chris. It is very pretentious.
But I will say that there are some points that I do agree with. Bell Let's Talk uses the same like fucking motley crew of sponsors. Like they have Howie Mandel and like 4 other people I don't know or care about. But like they're all like pretty much the same like generic white person. I do want to see like ow, I bit my lip. Some more a diverse cast of like celebrities and sponsors. Like different backgrounds, races, ages.
Well, let's talk so white. Is that what you're saying, Kris?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. But no, I want to see I just want to see them showing more like people who will actually have issues, like people like youth in schools, like university students, high school students, people in their 20s and 30s, like people, like real people living their lives with these issues every single fucking day. I want to see a spotlight on these people and these people being like, yeah, like I have severe anxiety or I have manic depression and like this is how I get through it. This is how my days are. This is how I take these amount of pills. I want to see that. I want to see people like I want to see the reality behind it. I don't want to see Howie Mandel being like, hey, thanks for helping us out, boy. But I want to see like real people sharing their experiences and their stories and being shown to the fucking entire nation of Canada. This is a real life male, female, whatever, with mental health issues. Not just Howie Mandel, but I love him though.
All right. Well, on that rant, on that note, is there anything else you want to? How do you want to cap this off?
I just want to say that like, if you tweeted like a fucking mad person yesterday, if you went nuts, you went ham to the fucking lamb on Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook or whatever you did in the Bellas Talk, I want to say thank you for what you've done.
Thank you for serving their corporate masters, Kris. That's how I put it.
But there's still more to be done. The problem is not to be solved. I want you to get out there talking to people because like it's easy to tweet, sit back and be complacent and be like, okay, well, like, if anyone wants to talk to me, I'm here. Then just fucking sit in your chair and, like, just chill. Like, make an effort. Like, people are, like, you have a friend who's been, like, kind of, like, absent recently or, like, not really there, like, man, not really there, like, and kind of talking to them as much. Like, it's like, be like, hey, how's your day going? Like, how are things? Like, how's the dog? Like, just if small things like that, or if you want to, like, do your own research, like see what charities are actually like helping people in need and like various walks of life. Like do your research, donate to causes that you care about, that you want to support. It's like, but don't just feel complacent about like you've been tweeting, Instagramming, Snapchatting for one day and then your job is done. Job will not be done until like the stigma is gone and these people are kind of like people with mental health issues can feel like. They're like their lives are not just like fucking. They're not like weirdos among regular people, but they're people who, among other people. We're all just fucking people with our own problems and issues, and we're all just like living on this big blue marble in space. Know what I'm saying?
Well, I can tell you after that, you don't walk away from this podcast with mental health issues.
Oh my god, you're an asshole.
No, I know what you're saying, Kris. I think I disagree with some of what you said, but you speak from the heart, and that's all I can ask of you in your big pink shirt. So anyways, let's cap it off here. It's great. Good talking to all of you guys. Hope my point of view is made clear so people can stop fucking bugging me about it. For the love of God, it's like people act like the sky is falling. Like, I'm sorry if you're hurt. Your feelings are hurt, guys, but, get over it. But anyways... let's end that.
I just want to say, like, love yourself, love your neighbor, and just, try and survive every single day, being the best you can possibly be.
Wow, such cliched advice, Kris.
That's what I'm here for. Anyways, time for the shot. Don't stop recording the podcast yet. But yeah, so now that we're on iTunes, by the way, we're on iTunes. Shout out again to Mr. Eddie Chung. Thank you so much for being us on iTunes. You're a boss. Sauce, bro. Anyway, so yeah, subscribe to us on iTunes. Now? Yeah, subscribe to us on iTunes. Download the podcast. Give us a 5-star rating. We give you a 5-star podcast. We deserve a 5-star rating.
Remember they used to have 5-star ratings on YouTube?
Really?
Back in the day? You don't remember that?
I don't remember that at all.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Man, I remember like, old YouTube or old Facebook. Those were like, fucking like, man, you see I'm on like, fuck, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
Alright, anyways, let's just... Okay, enough of this reminiscing.
I've been talking too long. My tongue's like shot. But yeah, so... Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe on iTunes, and rate 5 stars. We need it. Get Meonies to fucking to sponsor us.
I'll rate 5 stars.
Please rate 5 stars. We need it.
Right, enough groveling from you, Kris.
But anyway, yeah, we love you. Stay strong, stay safe, and remember... Stay single and stay hungry. Peace out.